write a question preceded by the word question in all caps in the chat. That helps us ensure that we see it. So again, the word question, then your question in the chat, that helps us capture that so we can get your question answered. But wait, there's more. The raise hand feature is in the toolbar. If you don't see it, check under more. So when you have a question or you're called upon to raise your hand, you can find that information in the toolbar. If you don't see it listed, check under more. And here's one more great tip that I forget to give people, but I'm going to make sure I do it today. You can resize the text in the chat. So if you're on a Mac, Command plus or Command minus to change the size of the text in chat. If you're on a Windows machine, Control plus or Control minus will change the size of the text. And hey, this can be a helpful feature so that you can see the text without having to, play trombone with your PC by moving it closer or further away. Brenda, let's have a great meeting.
Let's do that, shall we? I'm doing a couple things in the background here. First, I just want to let you know when you come onto these calls, you get some networking, you get some learning. You're probably going to laugh, maybe at us, maybe with us is the goal. Really, we're going to have some fun here. And I always give you a little bit of something extra. Sometimes I tell you about my setup. Sometimes I tell you, some of the behind the scenes. I'm using Canva to do this looping slideshow, and I feel like it's rotating way too fast. So I'm going to try to adjust that for next month. But I also realized in Canva we now have this timer function where if you joined early, you might have seen that timer function was a countdown, and you can set it for the maximum number of minutes. It initially was 5 and I adjusted it to 15 and then it was counting down. So I really like that part of it. So there's some things I love about doing a Canva slideshow as your attendees are coming in the room versus Google Slides. And there's some things I like about Google Slides versus Canva. Now, I know there's a way in Canva I can modify the timing. I have to spend a little bit of time, like undivided attention, like to focus on how to do that. So I'll do that for next month's meeting. But at any rate, I want to say good morning and welcome. And for those of us in the USA, happy Independence Day, 4th of July here. I had a few people reach out in advance of today's call saying, "Hey, are we not meeting because it's the holiday weekend?" And I don't have any plans for today. And I'm like, you know what? I don't have any plans for today. So we're just kind of laying low key. So if you want to come out and hang out with me for an hour, I'll be here. It'll be a smaller group. I never feel like it's less than if it's a smaller group. I actually feel like sometimes we get to know each other a little bit more. There'll be more time for networking. There'll be more time for introductions. And actually, with the size of the group that we have today, we're all going to get the chance to do an introduction. Most of our calls, it's only the all-stars that you hear from, and then I pick a few people who are new to the call. But today, we're going to give everyone the opportunity to introduce yourself if you'd like. If you don't want to, just say I'll pass, and you can private message me in chat, or just when I pull you up on screen, mute your video, and I'll know that means you don't want to introduce yourself. But what I'd like to do is start with introductions by those of you who are all stars, who've been on these calls before. You know who you are. If you could please use the Zoom raise hand feature to raise your hand, that would really help me out because that puts you up into the top level navigation. And I will bring you on screen. I'll do two at a time. After you finish your introduction, I'll bring up the next person and we'll kind of keep rotating there. So what I'd recommend is let's do a 30-second introduction. Can I do the timer for this? Let me see if I can do this. I'd have to do, there's a way, isn't there, Christopher, a timer you can do in Zoom too?
There is, and I usually use the one under the apps.
Okay, so I have to go into apps for that. Apps. Okay.
And then timer is named timer.
Oh, well, that's a convenient little name for something called a timer. All right. So,
Exactly. And you can set it so it is only visible to you or everyone can see it.
so timer is ready for you to use. Okay. And then how do I show timer? You guys are all seeing this right now, right? Show timer to all? Maybe not until I set it up. So let me try this right now. Can you see the timer going right now?
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay, so hi, I'm going to do a sample introduction. My name is Brenda Meller. My company is Meller Marketing. I help the self-employed executives and corporate teams to get a bigger slice of the LinkedIn pie. I'm delighted that you're all here today, and I'm going to drop a couple of links inside chat, including information about my Marketing Meller program and the Michigan Summit for the Self-Employed. All right, so there we go. We tested out. That's what a 30-second introduction sounds like. Oh, it's like the Oscar music playing. That's kind of fun. All right, so that's how the introduction goes. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spotlight two of you at a time. I'm going to bring up Sue and Mindy, and is that okay if we do this? We're going to try this out for today just to keep everything rolling and keep everybody in the introductions here. Oh, I just lost my app timer. Okay, Sue, you are up. I'll start the timer once you start talking.
Thanks. I'm also known as Sue Mentors. I'm the mentor with blue and red pom-poms today to celebrate our wins. I help people in transition, and what I discovered is that I help a lot of people who are what I call unexpectedly self-employed. They're between jobs and they're running a business. They're caretaking, running a business. So I'm excited about the MSSE. It's helped me get my continuum and other things done for it. I'll put my information in the chat. Happy to connect and help. Mindy.
Look at that. Now, the only thing I don't know is how do I stop the timer so we don't have that annoying music. So you'll have to bear with me. This is a trial run for this timer use on
Or
here.
we'll just sing along with the music, Brenda, whatever
There
works.
you go. Mindy, go ahead.
Happy 4th of July to everyone. So I am the career accelerator. My clients, they all have the skills and the experience that they need to move forward, to accelerate their careers. Some of them, what they're missing is the clarity. What am I doing next? How do I make it happen? The confidence, can I really do this? Is it me? Do I have imposter syndrome? And the structure. And that's what I provide. If we work together, that's what I help people with, understanding the clarity, the confidence, and the structure to create a business, whether it's a side hustle or your primary business. That's up to you. I wish you all a beautiful day. Hopefully you get to see some fireworks today. And I'm passing it over to Ken.
Thank you,
Welcome,
Mindy.
welcome, welcome. Great to be here, and I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of you very soon in Detroit. My name is Kenneth Lang. I started a searchable database, My Networking Central, which you can put meetings on, you can search for speakers. I started here on Job Search a long time ago, and I work at Lehigh Harrison also as a brand specialist. One of my goals is to work with people on how they can get out of the LinkedIn rut. I'm actually in the process now of putting together my slide for the presentation. I definitely have to give a shout out to Brenda for everything she's doing, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. And before I kicked off the stage, have a great day, everyone.
I don't know that I like this. I'm feeling like the stress of it. I don't like Christopher, can we turn off the music at the end? Because I just wanted this to be a guideline. I didn't want it to be like rude and jumping over us. Do you know if there's a way you can turn off the music? I'm waiting for him to unmute. He's muted right now. Hold on,
I
Linda.
don't think that we can, but I'll
No.
have to play with that. But
Oh, wait.
the
Alarm
stress button.
sound off.
Oh,
Because it has, right now it's and the winner is what the sound is called. So I'm going to do off. I
And
just
you
want to
know
use this as
something,
a
and you showed
guideline.
something to Christopher.
Yeah. And I'm even thinking learning experiences. We've gone through 3 people so far. I feel like the All-Stars should have gotten a minute, because we usually have, or unlimited, because we always are donating our time coming in here. So I'm going to make an executive decision. All-Stars, you're not going to have a timer. Linda, you'll be up next. And Mindy and Sue, if you'd like to come back and finish your introduction, and Kenneth as well, we'll have you rotate back in to the cycle here. All right, Linda, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I'm Linda Brubaker, and I'm a career transitions coach. And what I do is that I help people to identify and highlight their transferable skills, whether they're looking to make a transition to a job of their own, their next forever job, or whether they're looking to make a career change, whether that's a change to add a side hustle, whether they want to actually go into becoming that accidental or intentional entrepreneur. It's all a change. And it's the idea that we know what our skill sets are, what we can bring. And my skill is helping you to highlight them, to talk about what you can do for other people and make those transitions.
Christopher.
Morning, I'm Christopher Johnson, a LinkedIn top voice based in Metro Detroit. And what I do is produce virtual events for nonprofits and member organizations, groups like Feeding America, California WIC. And I don't just manage the Zoom calls, I create an experience that reflects the mission of the organization and engages the audience. Additionally, I'm also now the morning host on Michigan Public. That's the NPR affiliate for Michigan. So tune in and listen. And if you find these tips helpful, feel free to buy me a coffee.
You know what? I like that you did that. And don't you have a buy me a coffee link?
I do, and I just placed it in the chat.
Look at that. And honestly, we talked about this a couple weeks back. All of us are kind of volunteering our time to help to run these calls week after week after week. I mean, you're doing free events. You should be promoting your business. This is a tip for the self-employed. You should be promoting your business anytime you do a free event, anytime you're networking at an event, you should at the right time be promoting your business. And if you have a freebie like a coffee, or buy me a coffee thing in addition to your freebies, don't be afraid to like periodically sprinkle it out. And in today's call, like having Christopher drop that into chat, we can all see what it is. So can you tell us how the site works, Christopher? Do you know a little bit about, is it like a donation? Do they set the amount? How does that work?
It is, I believe you can choose your own adventure. So, whatever level of amount is right for you, you can have a subscription. Hey, you know that as hyper as I am, I must consume a ton of coffee. And you're right. So, if you want to provide endless streams of coffee, you have that option.
That's cool. I'm going to share the page real quick so you can all see this in case you didn't click on the link, or maybe you're watching the YouTube. So you can set up a page at the site buymeacoffee.com, write in a description, and you can choose to buy him one cup of coffee for $5, three for 15, five for 25, or you can become a member and buy him a cup of coffee every month for $5 a month. So cool little thing there. And I actually learned about this service, I think by way of John Asperian. Are you using the same service that John is using, Christopher?
It is, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So, all right. Thank you for allowing us to divert our introductions here for a second. And we're going to keep on going here. I'm not going to use the timer. I'm going to say try to keep your introductions to 30 seconds to a minute. I feel like it's too much pressure. And it was stressing me out as the host, and I don't want my my guest and co-host to be stressed out either. So Jihan, you will be up next. I'm going to pull myself up, and I'm going to start to pull folks from the audience. So when you're up on screen, that means you're on deck for your introduction. Jihan, go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. All of a sudden, I popped up into the queue. And love the Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you so much for bringing that up, you guys. I'm Jihan Haridi-Ardanowski, G for short, founder and creator of creative consultant of Golden Synergy Touch. And I have a twofold approach to the HR profession. I am a fractional and project HR consultant to small to mid-sized businesses, and also a personal branding strategist where I align LinkedIn with Clifton strengths for value and visibility and career victory through my Glumgrade to Boldier approach. Nice to see everyone today.
All right, Lisa, and then I'll be pulling Leslie up in a second here.
Hello, I'm Lisa Vitale Hess, currently looking for my next big thing. I just wanted to be here and maybe learn something from somebody, meet a few people, do a little bit of networking. I'm looking for community engagement and volunteer management within the Metro Detroit area. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Great to see you, Lisa. Thank you so much. Leslie, you're up next, and then I'm going to be pulling Penny up on screen here.
Well, good morning. I offer brand marketing and communication services, anything from proofreading, editing, PR items. Canva is a favorite, of course. Website design and creation, email marketing, newsletters, a variety of things. So I am here to support nonprofits, small businesses, fellow entrepreneurs, and nonfiction authors in particular. Thank you for allowing us to be here.
Thank you, Leslie. Penny, you're up.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, G. Good morning, Mindy. I know quite a few folks that are on here. My name is Penny Marie Sprague, go by Penny, and I am an HR consultant, a little bit different than G. She has the SME for Success Factors, I'm a little bit broad of everything. I am a consultant with respect to HR compliance, which everybody goes, HR compliance? No. What I'm working on right now is I'm working on a project for compliance for I-9s. And so far, I've looked at 2,000 I-9s. I've got 8,000 more to go for the large companies. So if anybody needs any help, I do work part-time evenings and weekends as well. And I appreciate everybody here today. And Brenda, thank you for letting me on.
Awesome. Thank you, Penny. Thanks for joining us. All right, Sandra, nice to see you. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Sandra. Sorry, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sandra Ragoza, and I am developing a portfolio career. And one of my specialties is helping individuals use AI tools. So my Fantastic Four are ChatGPT, Claude, Notebook LM, and Perplexity. And right now I am helping individuals in their career search and identifying their personality, their traits, and their behavioral patterns, their communication style, all using AI, and then taking that information, helping them develop their resume, LinkedIn profile, career strategy, and also how to position themselves for their ideal company. And I've had success in placing people in their ideal career and helping individuals look for adjacent opportunities to their core functional discipline. And I've also been teaching other people how to utilize AI tools, and particularly in prompting. It's the quality of the prompt, and I have a specific style to be able to do that. So thank you. I appreciate the spotlight.
Thank you, Sandra. Next up, Nancy.
Good morning. I live and work in New York City. I am a healthcare comms professional specializing in biotech, pharma, hospitals, and healthcare companies, helping these organizations get ink and media coverage for whatever it is that they're about. I'm also a cancer patient advocate, and happy to be here this morning, and happy July 4th. Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you for joining us, Nancy. Nice to see you. Next up is Marjorie.
Oh, thank you for having me. Yes, this is kind of a fun holiday that who knows what to do other than fireworks tonight. So I work with aspiring authors who are considering self-publishing their books. I focus on nonfiction authors, specifically people who have been in business a long time, have life lessons to share, or specific technical skills. So editing, lots of good publisher. I've got editors and book designers and cover designers all on my stable of people that are working with me and that can work with you. Thank you. My link is in the chat.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'll be reaching out to you at some point in the future. I have one book, Social Media Pie, how to enjoy a bigger slice of LinkedIn, which was written 5 years ago. I need to do a refresh, but I have like 4 other books in my head. And at some point, I'd like to go the self-publishing route with those as well. So I'm making a mental note right now. This is good.
I'd love to have a chat with you, Brenda, anytime.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. I'm going to bring Mindy back up because she was in that pressurized 30-second intro that did not work. I'm going to just say it. It did not work. It was too fast. And I'm always so grateful that, Mindy and Sue and Kenneth and all these wonderful all-stars are coming call after call. So she messaged me in chat and I said, yeah, come back up and finish off your introduction. So go ahead, Mindy.
Thanks, Brenda. Before I start, Marjorie, I have someone I want to connect you with. So if you can DM me later, I'll happy to make that introduction. I think it'll be a good match for you guys. What I wanted to tell everyone is that I opened up a new Be Your Own Boss info session, and it's happening on August 12th. I'm going to put the link in my in the chat, because if you want to just understand the possibilities of how you can turn whatever you're doing now, your gig, into a business, I think you should come and listen to the possibilities. And no obligation, just understanding and learning. And a couple of you have been on that info session, but if you haven't come yet, I encourage you to come, because it's going to help you to give some clarity to what you're doing and how you can position it through LinkedIn for sure. So I'm going to put that link in the chat, and I just opened it up last night. I thought it might be good to get another group going in, and we've had a lot of great responses. So you're welcome to join. The link is right there, and hope to see you there.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mindy. Okay,
Thanks,
so
Brenda.
there's a few folks that are on, and they were either camera off or they joined a little bit late. So I want to see right now if you would like to introduce yourself. Scott McConnell, do you want to introduce yourself, Scott?
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I love the diversity of this group, Brenda.
Scott, you're a little bit quiet. I'm having a hard time hearing you. Are you by chance using an external microphone or headset or anything like that?
Let me come back if that's okay.
Okay, I'll bring you back. Is everyone else having a hard time hearing him too? It's like really super quiet. Okay, we'll bring you back in just a second here. I also see we have Penny. I don't think Penny, you introduced yourself. Penny, would you like to introduce yourself? I'll bring you up on screen here. Oh, no, Penny, you did. I'm sorry. Wrong person. Give me 1 second. Have not finished my coffee yet. There was one other person. John Lyman. Do you want to introduce yourself, John? I'll bring you up on screen here. Hey, John.
Hi, good morning, everyone. It's great to see familiar faces. Happy 4th of July. Greetings from a sort of gray and cloudy Las Vegas. Much better than the weather that we've had the past few days. So it's great to see everyone. I'm looking forward to reconnecting with familiar faces here. Brenda, thank you for the invitation and for the last minute link. I tried to join earlier with an older link. And of course, technology insists on all the numbers and letters and spaces and capitalizations to be absolutely perfect. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, great to have you, John. And I did actually change the link. So for those of you who are coming along with me through this ride, we used to do the Friday VIP office hours for job seekers. And when I changed it over to the self-employed office hours, I used an entirely different Zoom link intentionally, not to mess anybody else up, but I wanted to make sure that the folks knew that they had to register for the new event, and it's a new event entirely. So we do have a few folks on the call here today who are job seeking and maybe considering that self-employment route or job seeking while doing some side hustles and things like that. And we have a lot of us who are fully self-employed and enthusiastically self-employed to that end as well. So wherever you're at in your journey, we're glad to have you here. All right, Scott, should we try a take two? Let's see if it's working.
Yeah, can you hear me better now?
Oh, that's like 100% better, I think. So go ahead and introduce
I got
yourself.
the headset in. All right. Well, welcome or good morning, everyone. You shouldn't have said
You
welcome.
can welcome us. It's all good. We're all friends here.
Welcome to my podcast. No. Yeah, I'm just really enjoying the diversity and what everyone is bringing to this group, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I think this is my third visit. I'm a new transplant to the East Coast. I've been in the Seattle area for most of my life, and now I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm doing a bit of a career pivot, just to let everybody know. I have quite a bit of experience in workforce development, publicly funded and grant funded programs, working with a lot of individuals in providing training and coaching for career advancement and getting folks back to work. So I'm doing a bit of career pivot because I want to, and I'm in the process of researching how to get my own business started here in North Carolina. I was going to initially call it RSM Career Consulting, but there's a really large company called RSM, which I don't know if I can use that name. I'll see if I can. But at any rate, in the process of launching a business and trying to get all the pieces aligned with what I have to offer, the value to my target customers, which I believe are going to be mid to late career individuals. And there's kind of two segments I'm looking at. I'm looking at doing some 1099 consulting to corporate outplacement, I know some of you are involved with some of those companies. I'd love to get a way to get in to maybe do some part-time consulting. And then as I'm developing my local contacts and doing some outreach to groups here in Charlotte, I'm working on my private individual customers. So anyway, really happy to be here. I love, again, the diverse content and the sharing. And I love what everyone else is putting out there. So thanks for allowing me to be part of this group.
Thank you, Scott. By the way, do you have a podcast? You mentioned that at the beginning.
No, I was joking.
Got a good
Maybe that's
voice for a
coming. I don't know.
podcast. I think
Yeah, I'm
I think
open to
you're
it.
pulling off. I'm just saying here.
Oh, thank you. All right. We'll
Yeah.
work on that.
There you go. I like to plant these little seeds, and I'm like, yeah, you could do one. Just so you know, I'm still waiting for well, Christopher Johnson. Do you have a podcast yet, Christopher? I feel like you should. Are you on? Are you still with us, Christopher Johnson? Come to the front of the room. I'm going to put him on spotlight right now.
You
Do you have a
know,
podcast
there is
yet?
something about being called to the principal's office.
I'm just saying, his voice, it's like the Calm app, right? And his company's called Calm Clear Communications. It's just a soothing. I would tune in just to listen to your voice. It's just got such a great voice on there. And I know you're on the radio, and I know you're there, but I feel like the podcast is still something you could be doing. I'm just saying. I'm going to keep on saying it until it happens, but I'm just saying.
It will happen. Peer pressure works.
There you go. Well, thanks for joining us. All right, I'm going to take myself off of Spotlight and make sure that we have welcomed everybody. I think we've done introductions for everybody here in the room. Couple of things that came up in the introductions. I would be remiss if I first of all didn't remind everyone, if you're in Metro Detroit and you haven't already registered, please register and join us on Tuesday for the Michigan Summit for the Self-Employed. This will be on Tuesday, July 8th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're hosting this at the American Cancer Society in Southfield, Michigan, which is in the Onyx building. It's at 12 Mile and Telegraph, just north of Telegraph over there. And really great room. We've got a bunch of individuals coming out. It's really going to be a kind of a great day of networking, learning, meeting other people. And we've got many great individuals who will be joining our panel discussion in the morning. Myself, Pam Lippett, our moderator is going to be Christopher Johnson. We've got Kenneth Lang coming into town. Sue Griffey's coming into town. Lynn Williams will be coming into town as well. Amalia Gardner will be joining us there as well. And we're going to really just have a great day of networking and meeting with other people who are self-employed. Thus, the Michigan Summit, the coming together of the self-employed. It's our first time doing this event. I'm saying it's our event, and then I get Pam Lippett people saying, well, it's our first annual. We're going to do this every year. So we'll see how year one goes. But we are looking forward to seeing you there if you're interested. I did drop the link in the chat earlier. I'm going to drop it again in chat right now. The second thing I wanted to make sure I mention is that I do have a group on LinkedIn. And this is the place that you should go if you have any questions about the group, if you're trying to network with others after or in between our calls. This is a private unlisted group, which means private means you only see the group posts an activity if you're a member of the group. It doesn't show publicly to people. So if they visit the page, they can't see it unless they're a member of the group. Unlisted means it's not on your profile, so people won't see that you're a part of it. So maybe you're straddling, do I stay an employee of a company? Do I become self-employed? Or if you're a job seeker, you're trying to figure out which route you want to go. This group won't show anywhere on your profile. So don't worry about us outing you in terms of what your career goals may be. But this is a really great place that I will use in between meetings. So for example, I'm going to put the Zoom link inside here, and actually the YouTube link, I should say. So here's the playback of our July 4th call. Typing and talking at the same time, not good for Brenda Meller today. At any rate, so that'll be inside there. And if you have information, resources, even things that you'd like to share in between our calls to promote your business, to promote your upcoming events, feel free to do so. I will, when people come and try to join the group, I'll get the request to join, and it's kind of like you tapping on the door, and I have to look through the peephole. I click on request to join, and then I can see who those individuals are, and I'll do a quick scan. And I'll make sure that your name looks familiar, that you've been a part of our calls here, and then I will approve you inside the group, and then you can come in and you can participate in the discussion. I'll also encourage you, when you do join the group, you can see who the fellow group members are. And if you click on show all under the members list there, you can actually see all the individuals next to their name. It will show if you're already connected. So first means you're already connected. If you see somebody that has second, it means you're not yet connected to them. So feel free to invite those individuals to connect. Really great opportunity for networking in between meetings here. And also a good place if you can't find the link or the playback, I'll put the resources in there as well. So definitely check that out. It's a good, it's like our flagpole in my our job seeker office hours. I used to talk about this. Remember back in school, we would do fire drills at school, and then they'd say you should do a fire drill at home, and you should have a meeting place outside of your home in the event of an emergency, a fire in the middle of the night, because you're not all going to meet on your front porch if the house is on fire. So where are you going to meet? And it's the flagpole down the street or that big oak tree over yonder, whatever. So the group is really our flagpole in between meetings. That's where you can go and share information and resources, ask me questions, that kind of stuff. So that will be running out there in the background. And I am starting to convert this office hour into my podcast, which is called Enthusiastically Self-Employed. So if you've never been on a podcast before and you introduced yourself today, guess what? You are now going to be on a podcast. I will probably get this show loaded over the weekend. It'll be up and live by Monday on your favorite podcast network. Just search for Brenda Meller or the show name, which is called Enthusiastically Self-Employed. And you'll find yourself on there. And then you can brag to all your friends that I'm on a podcast. Look at this. I'm a famous celebrity. I'm on a podcast now. So very cool. Thanks. All right. So our call is a bit free flowing here. I like to choose a topic that we can talk about for some roundtable discussion. And there's a couple things that had come up already that I'm just going to put this out as some placeholders. How to promote your business at events. So that's one idea of something we could talk about. And we're going to take a vote here in a second. So that's topic number one, how to promote your business at events. And then the second is, why did you name your business what you did? Like, why is your business called what it is, right? So maybe we can talk a little bit about that. For those individuals that are still thinking of coming up with a name, they can hear the backstory behind our business names. We've got about 30 minutes left, so we actually might do both topics on there. But let's do, should we do raise hand? I think let's do raise hand. Let's do raise hand. Well, let me think about this. Let's do reactions, because then we can do two different things. Okay. We're going to take a vote on which topic we'd like to start with. So choose the red balloon if you'd like to talk about how to promote your business at events, and choose the rocket if you'd like to choose how did you name your business, what you did. So either one of those, give me one option and which one you would like. I'm seeing a couple rockets flaring right now. So you have to go under the little reactions in there. I see one red balloon, couple of rockets. I'm seeing a little bit of both on here. It only goes for 4 seconds. 5 seconds, Sue? Sue, you want to raise your...
Yeah, what I was saying is 4 people gave rockets. Now we're up to 2 balloons. I'm doing the aggregation. I'm a researcher. I can't help it.
Ah, okay. Actually, that's send with effect. If I do reactions, does it stay up longer? Would that have been a better option? Linda's like, yeah, Brenda, you should have done that instead. Okay, so laughing emoji, if you want to do how to promote your business at events. And let's do, I lost my emoji. Let's do party emoji if you want to talk about why did you name your business what you did. So again, laughing emoji if you want to talk about how to promote your business at events, and party emoji if you want to talk about what you named your, or how you named your business what you did. I'm seeing, I don't know, Sue, can you tell? It looks like it's kind of split, and now they go away. Okay, that failed as well. I like to test things out, and neither of them worked. Neither of them
You
worked.
know what? Use number 1 and 2 in the chat. That's the easiest.
All right.
Or,
Christopher, what do you got?
well, there's a voting option, so you can use the red X or the green check mark. They stay up there until you clear them.
Okay.
Oh.
So under reactions, you can use the red X to represent one vote.
Okay, we're learning about
check
Zoom.
mark or the other.
Okay, so green check mark for how to promote yourself at events, and red X for how you named your business. Let's try that. Oh, that's a lot easier.
Yeah.
you all know I don't make mistakes, right? I have learning experiences, and I like to bring you along the journey with me for these learning experiences. We just had a learning experience about using Zoom features to take some polls with your audience, and I'm just going to choose randomly on here. Let's see, is that the tiebreaker? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4. So we're going to go first with how to promote yourself at events. And then our second option will be, how did you name your business? So how do you promote yourself at events? I'm going to start, and then if you could, I think we have got to take these little reactions down, right? Take your little reaction down.
You can clear them as the host, or you can have people uncheck them.
How do I clear them as the host?
So in the participant window on the right-hand navigation panel, you can say clear all.
Participant window, say that again.
So on the participant window,
Uh-huh.
You should be able to clear all reactions.
Clear all feedback. There we go. Learned another thing. Learned another feature. They're very cool. Okay, so I would like you to raise your hand if you would like to offer some advice to the group about how to promote your business at events. And it can be the right way of doing this or the wrong way, like things that you don't like people to do, like the business card dropper person, you know who I'm talking about on there. And I'll just talk about promoting your business at events. I'm going to talk about name tags. I got mine, so I'll grab it in a second here. I've got a metallic name tag with bling like around the outside of it. And I'm not a huge fan of the sticky name tags because my hair is always getting stuck in them and then pulling off, or it's peeling off halfway, or, whatever. So I like to, and sometimes they don't have name tags. I don't know about you. The older I get, the more I'm forgetful on who you are and where I met you. And name tags are just a nice little crutch for me. So I love to bring a name tag with me of my own, because it's a cool, it's got my brand colors on it and whatnot. It makes a good conversation starter. Oh, how did you get that? Which I feel like to me is like part of the goal when you're at an in-person event, networking. You want to have some soft conversation starters before you sell your business, and that to me, like having that name tag to me is really helpful to bring into the events. Having my own, I actually have 2 of them. Keep one in my car because I always forget the one that I have at home, right? And then if I show up at the event, and if the event host has like the nice plastic sleeve name cards, sometimes they have little tags on 'em, like with you're a donor or a member or a leader. I use theirs if they have them because I feel like it's polite to do so. But if they don't, or if they've got the sticky ones that are just on the shirt, I say I'm just going to use mine if that's okay. And they're like, yeah, that's totally fine, because those cheap sticker ones are easy to do. So I feel like to me that helps to promote my business because it gets into a conversation about it. And I do marketing as a part of my business. So it helps to kind of start that conversation off. So we're talking right now about how to promote your business at events. And I see nobody raising their hand. So you've all failed, because this is a test. When you're at a Zoom session and there's nobody else raising your hand, how to promote your business at an event, raise your hand. That's like a no-brainer there. So we'll go Sandra and then Mindy. Well, I'm going to grab my name tag. Go ahead, Sandra.
Well, having your own name tag is a great idea because I'm doing the same. I was at several events, and of course they have the, very nice, the name tags with the sticky back. I have one jacket whereby, and I love the magnetic. Yes, I have those too. The name tag with the magnetic, the magnet. So I was at an event whereby I was wearing a particular jacket, used the sticky name tag, the glue got stuck to the fabric. And it was a heck of a time trying to remove the glue from the name tag off of my jacket. So yes, have your own name tag. And I love the ones with the magnetic back to them, because you can just easily attach it to your jacket. Now, the other one, and this is one that I'm also seriously considering, because your t-shirt, Brenda, reminded me of this. You have a jacket, you have a brand color, have a t-shirt with your logo in the center. And I'm looking at having those branded t-shirts to do the same, have a jacket, branded t-shirt, brand colors. So that is my contribution. Thank you.
Great idea, Sandra. Thank you. Mindy, you're up next, and on deck is Linda, followed by Marjorie.
Okay, so the best thing you can do at an event is have your QR code. Oops. Can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that? So that it takes you directly, this takes people directly, and it's a little blurry, I don't know why. Takes people, oh, here we go.
Try to put it in front of your face, because right now Zoom is trying to focus on you instead of your phone. And if you block your eyes, Zoom will try to focus on the object, I think is what it is.
How's that?
Nope, still blurry because it's trying to focus on your eyes. I think technology always sees people as more important than objects.
Wait, I'll move away. That won't work at all.
Now
Anyway,
yeah.
put your QR code on your phone so you don't have to be giving out business cards, and have it linked directly to your LinkedIn profile so that you can, oh, she likes, yeah. So put the face in your QR code. Oops, I lost it. So that people can quickly grab a picture, get right to LinkedIn and start connecting right away, and make all those connections while you're there before you forget. And then follow up. The beauty's in the follow up. Most people do not follow up. And so if you do, then you are in the top 1%. That's my contribution. Oh, there it is. See it better over here.
I wonder if you're better. I don't know if it's gonna be better, smaller or not too. And if you have that QR code, if you want to like upload it into chat, I think you can upload documents or pictures or things in there. If you want, feel free to, and then we can try it out in there.
I will try that.
All right, we'll see if it works. All right, cool. Linda, you're up next, followed by Marjorie. What advice do you have?
Perfect. So when you're going to an in-person meeting, you know that we always go out and we meet people and we shake hands. Here's a quick tip for where to put your name tag. Most of us are right-handed, so you slap your name tag on your left shoulder. But when you're shaking hands, it's right hand to right hand. If you put your name tag on your right shoulder, your hands and eyes follow one another, and it's easier for somebody not only to see it, but to remember that name based on that. Just a quick little communication tip.
I love it. That's something I remember learning that in it was like a professional etiquette class or something. We were talking about different techniques, but that's a brilliant technique. So thank you for that. All right, Marjorie, what advice do you have for us?
I have two pieces of advice. I'm going to put this up here. These are Moo card business cards. And I was at an event where my neighbor had these and everyone wanted one. These are her paintings, but I took my photographs that I do with the work that I do with trails and made a bunch of those, and everyone is excited to get them. Can I please have them, as opposed to, would you please take my business card? Very, very different reaction. The other suggestion is when you know events are coming up, if there are any speaker opportunities, keep your eyes out for those. If you have any kind of role as a presenter, as a speaker, as even a host or other such, that's more than just a participant, you've already raised your visibility in a huge way. So, especially with the organizations you're already involved with, volunteer. Do something that makes you distinguished from just a participant. So those are my suggestions.
Marjorie, I'm going to ask you a question because I've been thinking about these Moo business cards. I think these are ones I've used in the past as well. I'm going to pull myself up on screen here. So I believe you can upload multiple designs.
Yes.
Right?
Up to 50.
Okay. So get ready for a marketing tip. Are you guys all sitting down for this? Because it's that good. So think about your area of expertise. You could create, I'm just going to make up a number, 10 different business tips about that. So for example, I could create business cards with 10 different LinkedIn tips on them on the front side of the card. On the back side of the card is my contact information.
Yep.
Brilliant. Like I was like, I'm going through my, I've got the, what is it? Vistaprint box, the mega box of like 3 gazillion cards, and I'm finally running out of them. And I'm like, the next time I order cards, I want to order these. And I used these when I was back in corporate. We had a variety of different poses of
Yeah.
our executives, and they were
This
really
is,
cool. So I
yeah,
think
this is another
you,
one.
yeah. And if
Somebody else
you're,
gave. Yeah.
and if your friend, was it you that created those, or was your friend that created those business
Oh,
cards?
I saw what she did
Yeah.
and I said, I'm not a painter, but then I said, I have thousands of amazing scenery from our travels, and I write hiking books, travel guides for people who
There you
have
go.
disabilities. And so I've got these hundreds of really beautiful scenery, and I just picked probably 35, and some of them I really love, so I made multiple ones.
Yeah. And Nancy just put into chat, I would only list 5 tips, so you have them wanting more. Nancy, what I'm proposing is that each of the 10 cards is 1 tip. So you're like, oh, I want another card. And I'll be like, well, you have to see me at another event.
Yep.
Like, I want to make them like a collectible thing, but
This is my favorite.
that's really clever. And yeah, use pictures. It could be, you know, tips. It could be insights. You can have something with a QR code, want all 10, go to my website, like use it as a freebie, as a lead generator, if you will. The link I put inside chat when I went to moo.com gives you 20% off when you sign up to get on their email list. If your friend Marjorie has any other discounts, if she's an affiliate or a referral, or he or she, feel free to drop that inside the group and we'll redirect people there. All right, so next up, thank you, Marjorie. That was a really great tip. Next up will be, G, what advice do you have for us?
Okay, so by complete coincidence, it's along the lines of marketing because I am terrible with self-promotion and sometimes I stammer my way through things. But last year I wrote a book, did it in a rush, didn't do a big book promo event. It did nothing for it, basically. That's another topic. But then at one point, because people were asking me about the quirky title, which is From Satan to Sensational HR, it was a talking point in some of the things. And people were like, oh, wait a minute, how can I, learn more about your book? And, oh, that sounds really kind of cool and quirky. I thought, well, you know what, here, let me give you my information. But then I was sending links and all this stuff. I decided to piggyback off of Mindy's point about the QR code, which a lot of us use. I now on my phone have not 1, but 2 codes. So that way, if people at an event are curious about the book, oh, you can't really see it, but sorry about that.
It was on though. We saw it. Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go. That's kind of a little bit. So yes, you've got my LinkedIn QR code to find me on LinkedIn, but you also have, hey, there's my quirky book, and you can, click on everything. So it's just to have an additional, not just the big QR code for one thing, but have something else too. Just a thought.
Very cool. I like that. Yeah, QR code for other things. And you can even have, what is it inside Instagram? Linktree, where you can have like a QR code driving you to a link tree where there's like multiple links underneath it too. Someone asked about creating a QR code. I use canva.com. They used to be able to do it in Google Chrome, but you can't anymore. And if you use one of those QR code generator sites, the code will expire at some point in the future. I feel like Canva's pretty good for maintaining the code over time, pretty reliable, and it's the free version of Canva as well. So thank you, G. Really great tip there. All right, I'm going to keep us moving along here. Nancy, what would you like to add to the conversation?
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's familiar, and I don't know what they're actually called, but I've been at a few events where people give out, they don't make them, they're made by a company, and it comes in a little box, and they're little say positive thoughts and sayings. I don't know if people are familiar, but it's kind of like a conversation starter, or it was given to me when I was seated at a evening event with like 8 other people, but it was just a very nice, like kitschy thing to do. And now that when I've seen them in stores, I've bought them now. I can't tell you where it is, or I'd show it to you, but it's a little thing and you open it up and it's some thought or positive message. And I
Like
just
an
think
inspirational quote or something, right?
exactly. And
Yeah,
it's
I know what
just
you're talking
another
about.
way in theory to connect. And I wanted to ask, I think it was Leslie, I would love to see the name tag if she could show it on screen. Um, that would
All
be
right, we'll see
helpful.
if Leslie can show the name tag. That'll be a challenge for Leslie to see if she can round it up and bring it out there. All right, thank you, Nancy. Yeah, those little
Sorry
things.
about
And if
that. I
anyone
haven't
knows,
purchased it yet.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Is that
In the head. I
Nancy?
haven't gotten it yet. Sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
hasn't gotten it yet. If anyone is aware of the things that Nancy's talking about, those little inspirational quotes, they're like a square thing, right? And you like rip it off and then it reveals like the quote or the, if anyone's aware of the name of the company, drop it inside chat. Feel free.
I may be able, I think I have a Christmas one that I got, so I'm gonna
Okay.
go look.
We'll let you do that. All right, great. Linda, what would you like to ask or add to the conversation?
So actually, I have a question, and it's not really about in-person networking, it's about online networking.
Sure.
When I went to comment on somebody's comment in the chat, hovered over their name, and suddenly more than just the picture shows up. Okay, so if I go to G, for example, I see G, I see her external link. It says add contact. I do the same thing for you, Brenda, or Sue. I'm not seeing that for everyone. I'm seeing it for some, and I'm not sure what that is and how to do that because I like it.
Christopher Johnson, please come to the front of the office again because we have a need for your services and expertise. I don't know if he can come back up right now because I don't see it, so I don't know what you're
Hover
referring
over
to.
Sue. Hover
G,
your name over Sue.
G, do you know what you did? You probably know what you did, right? Because yours is one of them, I think, right?
It is.
Okay.
To set mine that way?
I don't know. G's is, Sue's is, Brenda, yours is?
So it is a Zoom setting. I'm always on Zoom. I don't adjust my setting, but I always log into Zoom. So I don't know.
I do too.
I don't know what you're referring to because I'm not seeing it. So Christopher, do you know what Linda's referring to?
I'm sorry, I was out of the room, but please catch me up and I'll be happy to help.
So Christopher, when I hover over it in the chat, okay, if I'm going to comment on somebody else's comment and I'm going to their whatever. For example, I'm on G's right now. So I click hovering over her picture and pops up with G in a red square kind of thing, has her full name. It says she's offline, says external, and it says add contact.
Yeah. Zoom
Oh,
is
I'm sorry, Linda, I'm sorry. You're referring to me, right? Me, G?
Yep.
Because when I hover over my own name, it doesn't say offline. Mine says in a Zoom meeting.
right.
But when I see it, it doesn't, when I do it, it doesn't say that.
Interesting.
Okay.
So Zoom is trying to incorporate, it wants to be another place where we hang out, and it's trying to help us do that by collecting contact information so that you can communicate between meetings. So my position, I like using Zoom for meetings, not the conversations between meetings. But yeah, if you have a profile, you can, when you hover over somebody,
Oh,
it
interesting.
will give you their full name.
So it's not anything, is it something to do with signing in on the app while being in the meeting, or is it just being in Zoom, or?
It is, well, yeah, it is connected to the app, and the app, when you go to the app, you'll see there are more buttons across the top. You can schedule a meeting. You can look at your contacts. You can chat to somebody not on Zoom, not in a meeting, but just through Zoom.
I'm going to just pull a line from one of my favorite movies, and I'm using favorite with air quotes because it's kind of like a funny movie, Mean Girls. Do you remember that scene in the movie where she's like, stop making fetch happen? It's not a thing. It's like Zoom, stop trying to get us on Zoom when we're not on Zoom. That's not a thing that we do. We don't go and hang out on Zoom. It's not a cool place to hang out. It's a business place. We're not going to come in between. We got our phones. We got Slack. We got, WhatsApp. We got LinkedIn. We got other places where we can communicate. We're not going to come over to Zoom and hang out and communicate. I'm sorry. Maybe there are Zoom ultra geeks out there, and I'm saying that with reverence because I think it's great to be an ultra geek, but I don't think the regular person like us is going to go out onto there. But thank you for bringing that to our attention, Linda. Probably a lot of us were seeing that in the background, but really not paying attention to it. And maybe you just brought some visibility. So thank you for asking that.
Sure.
All right, we're going to keep this rolling along here. So I see all the hands are now down from our first discussion. We're going to move into our second discussion for the last 5 minutes. And I'm just going to ask, would anyone like to share why they named their business the way that they did? I'm going to put us in gallery mode for this. We're going to go kind of quick action here. I'll start, and then raise your hand if you want to share why you named your business what you did. And you can talk about lessons learned with that or factual, whatever. Why I named my business what I did, Meller Marketing. Alliteration, Meller Marketing, MM, right? I worked in corporate marketing, at the time I set up my business, it was actually because I was starting to get a couple speaking engagements coming through, and someone suggested for tax purposes, you might want to set up a business name and, get a bank account, just have your side hustle. So I'm like, okay, I worked in corporate marketing. I really had no intention of going into business for myself in the future, but it was part of my last name, Meller Marketing. That works. And when I started really focusing in on LinkedIn, I realized that you shouldn't have LinkedIn as a part of your company name, because LinkedIn, the police, the legal police at LinkedIn will come after you and say, you can't do that because it's our name. So I'm actually glad that I didn't include LinkedIn as a part of it. And that's how I came up with my company name. Mindy, you can go next, followed by Marjorie.
Thank you. So 11 years ago, when I was forming my company, Stern doesn't go with anything, and I didn't want to come off Stern, so I didn't want to use that. But I came across this quote that I absolutely loved, and it was from Michelangelo. And Michelangelo said, "The greatest danger is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it is too low and we reach it." And I thought, aim, love that. And so everything that I have done since that time is aim higher. And that's the logo that I have, is aim higher. And AIM Resource Group is the name of my company. I'm going to put that quote into the chat so you can all see it. But that's where I got my inspiration. The one thing I would have done differently now is, for me, it's a little long. AIM Resource Group is a little long if you have to keep writing it. And also my email is mstern@AIM Resource Group. I would have shortened it. Maybe it was just AIM higher. I don't know. But at that time, I did it. And the lawyer who was helping me get my LLC said, make it as broad as possible. You have no idea what you're going to be doing in 11 years, which was true. But that was the inspiration. And that's where it came from.
Thank you, Mindy. Marjorie, tell us about your business name.
Hey, my business name is marjorieturner.com. And that was from the first people that were advising about, you could be a profitable writer and make money writing. And so I made the mistake of thinking I was a copywriter, which I'm not. But that was, again, what their advice was: your name isn't going to change. Your business very likely can change focus. And as long as you have your name, it's adaptable. Exactly what Mindy was saying, that as your business changes, your name continues to be the same. So when I did my LLC, it's Marjorie Turner LLC. So people can spell Turner, they don't spell Marjorie. My last name is Holman, they never can spell Holman. L's, 2 L's, yes. So Marjorie Turner LLC, it's all still me, no matter what I'm doing.
Awesome. Thank you, Marjorie. Sandra, what would you like to share?
Yes, I did obtain advice, and I've had people tell me to use my name because I have an unusual last name and people remember it. However, I was advised, and this was through a registrar office, to develop a company name separate from my personal name, and that is to limit any legal liability. So to avoid having my personal assets come under, I guess, any legal issues. So to separate myself, my person, into a company name. And I chose, because I'm heavily involved in teaching people how to use AI, and I'm also focusing on moving into the corporate environment, I've chosen Bridge, and the number 2. So it's Bridge 2 AI. I'm the bridge. And so I teach people how to use AI, whether it be personal or in a corporate setting. So there's the rationale. Thank you.
And this is not legal advice either, as I shared this. This is just marketing for entertainment and blah, blah, blah advice, all that stuff. But my understanding is when you set up an LLC, it protects you and your personal assets from any claims against your business. But I hear what Sandra's saying, Because they could say, well, I'm suing Sandra Ragosa LLC, and they're thinking in their head they're suing you personally. And again, not legal advice. Talk to the lawyers about all of that. But I hear what you're saying. It could create a little confusion. And also to add on to that, like I remember someone saying, well, think about where you want your business to go in 5 or 10 or 20 years. Because Meller Marketing, it can be like I can bring my son into the company or I can bring other people in, and it still works. If I called it Brenda Meller's marketing company, then it only works under me and I could never sell it off or evolve it. So we see some of the big, figures wrestling with this as they grow and they evolve their business. Leslie, and then we'll start to wrap up our call. Leslie, what would you like to share?
My read, write, engage is a DBA. So my business name I've got all of these ideas that everyone shared that they were in my head at the time. So leaving the option open of what on earth I might possibly do. I used my name, but not my name as far as the initials, Leslie Michelle Alexander. So my business name LLC is LMA Services, very broad, yet separate, and my name not exactly out there. And then the business name, or DBA, as read, write, engage, because I started with proofreading, but I also do writing. And the services that I offer are generally just marketing stuff to help engage customers. So it took a while to get there, but I like it.
That's good. And I'm going to share one final story about naming a business. It just reminded me as you were all talking. My friend Michelle Lang, she's working in corporate now, but she, at the time when I first met her, she was working for her own company, which was called Silver Tree Marketing. And she did a variety of marketing communications and marketing strategy. And she helped my organization with different projects. And I remember one day asking her, Silver Tree Market, like, where did you come up with that name? And she said, well, my favorite color is silver. And when I was trying to think of a company name, I looked out the window and there was a tree there. Silver Tree is where it came from. And it's almost like when you name a child, like after you name the child and it's on the birth certificate and you tell your family, this is the name of my child, that just is what the name of the child is. Whether you like it or not, it's the name of the child. So we can think, broadly in terms of going into the future. I think it doesn't hurt to do a Google search for your business name. If you're going to be active on a social media platform like LinkedIn, maybe do a LinkedIn search for that company name, make sure nobody else is using the name as well. But also, making it easy to pronounce and easy for people to understand. Meller Marketing, even if you don't know what I do, you get what marketing is, kind of, right? It doesn't have LinkedIn as a part of it. So when you discover I specialize in LinkedIn, it might have you go, oh, that's cool. I need some help with LinkedIn, right? So think about that business name by itself. It doesn't have to have your name as a part of it. You could use initials as a part of it. Now, my initials, BM, if you're a parent, you know what BM stands for. Like that's not good. That's not going to work. My middle initial is BLM, but that means something now too. That's a cause and whatnot. So you got to think about making sure your name or those initials don't mean something else. Or if I used BM marketing, every time I would look at that, you know what's going to happen in my head. I'm thinking of crap. I'm sorry. That's what it is, a bowel movement. That's not something we want to have. So thinking long term, about that name, but also not overthinking it. Like my friend Michelle, Silver Tree. And then after that, you don't really think about it too much. It's just a cool thing that you can use as an element, as an icon within your name and within your logo. So I'm going to wrap us up for today. I want to thank, first of all the All-Stars for joining us. I see Mindy and Linda are still on the call. I think Christopher might have dropped off. Kenneth had to drop off as well. This is something that we do once a month on the first Friday. These calls will continue through the end of 2025. We'll see how we're going there, and then I'll decide if we're going to continue into 2026. But it will be the first Friday of the month from 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern time or whatever time zone you're in. You'll use the same Zoom link to join. Today we had a bit of a smaller group, which was great because we all got to talk on the call. In other calls, you might see 30 to 50 to 60 or more people. And as this grows, I'll let you know the Zoom account that I have allows up to 100 people inside the session. After that, if you're at number 101, you'll get a message that says the Zoom is full and you'll have to go find us on YouTube where you can, join in there. But then you can't get into the chat. So my advice is always come in a few minutes early. I will always open up the Zoom about 10 to 15 minutes prior so you can get things set and go get your coffee and come back in here. And also, I will remind you that before you leave today, if you'd like, you can download the chat. If you scroll up to the top of the chat area, or sometimes it's at the bottom, you should see 3 dots. Now, this is interesting. I think as I was playing with all the settings, I'm not seeing my 3 dots anymore. Oh, it's at the top again. So I've closed off the chat and I reopened it. Now at the top, I can see the 3 dots, and then you can click on Save Chat. And then it will save it typically to your downloads folder, or if you have a Zoom folder for today's event, it will save it inside there. Okay, otherwise, you can go onto the YouTube channel, watch the playback again on there. If you are a podcast listener, I would highly encourage you to fire up that Enthusiastically Self-Employed podcast in your podcast library. And by Monday, sometime over the weekend probably, but by Monday, this episode will be on my podcast as well. So you'll be on a podcast too. You can brag to your family and friends about that. Show them at the barbecues this weekend. With that said, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Nancy's raising her hand. So do you have a question? You're muted, Nancy.
Sorry.
We'll give her a
I
second.
want to see your t-shirt. I didn't see it.
Oh, my t-shirt. I gotta stand up. Motivator, innovator, believer,
Ah.
teacher. I'm a big t-shirt expression person. I buy them at like Kohl's and different places when I see fun little shirts with different expressions. I think my daughter saw this and she's
I
like,
thought it was awesome with Motivator. It's even better now.
right? Yes. She's like, you're a teacher? I go, yeah, I teach people LinkedIn. I teach people marketing. I teach you how to do things. And she's like, okay, fine. But she was thinking
Great conversation starter.
Right. There you have it. With that said, I want to thank everyone again so much for joining. I am going to stop the recording in the live stream. I will keep the Zoom open for a few minutes in case you want to continue to network or download the chat or anything like that. But with that said, have a wonderful Independence Day holiday weekend. Stay safe. I look forward to meeting some of you in person at the Michigan Summit for the Self-Employed on Tuesday. Reminder, you can go to mellermarketing.com/MSSE if you'd like to register for that. With that said,
Thanks,
have a great
Brenda.
day. We'll see you guys.